it's gonna be
But
good.
like you say, there has been some good things come out of it. Like I haven't been traveling or anything, so I've still been working, so I'm just paying off debts or stacking up money around here. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. There you go.
there's some
There you
good
go.
points.
Yeah,
and
there's some good points. Yeah.
and you had a chance to work on some music, so
Yeah, that's been a crazy ride. Actually, I just went back and looked at some on Facebook and that, and I looked at some communication I had. Tracy started in January last year. Started lay down the guitars for this Disorder project, and then it's just been moving on during 2020. And I got its preliminary release date.
oh, okay.
I cannot announce yet what label it is, but it's a big label.
Okay.
And it will be released in June. They said preliminary June 18.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll mark that down in case it doesn't change. But that's good.
Yeah.
So how did you? So tell us about Disorder. Who's in the project? How did it come about? This was your creation, right? You started it.
Yeah. I write songs basically all the time, and I got this. I write for the X Romance project. I done a Swedish album, yes, in Swedish as well, and then I had a lot of ideas of songs, and I just wanted to have all my melodies because I grew up with Old Rainbow, Michael Schenker, Early Schenker is my favorite albums. Early Schenker is like the ultimate thing for me. That kind of era, and early Gary Moore, everything that came in the beginning of the 80s, melodic, Thin Lizzy, all that stuff, and I started to do all the melodies to these songs, and I started to write the lyrics to it, and I figured out that, man, I want to do this on the side. So I remember because Paul Chapman was supposed to do recordings on this, we were supposed to do some collaborations, and I figured out that because he called some people as well that haven't been a part of this due to other circumstances, God bless Paul, he passed away.
Yes.
But I reached out to Tracy, and I reached out to Rudy, and that's where it started. And Sean Duncan on drums, and Jeff Duncan played with us when we played in the States, so I asked him to do something, and that's how things turned out. And everybody was just supposed to do one or two tracks, but Tracy basically had played on all the songs. He had contributed a lot with his style and energy, like unbelievable. And the Snowy Show does one song. He's playing Therion, and he's playing Merciful King Diamond, Merciful Faithful.
Okay, yeah, Snowy Shaw, yeah.
Yeah, and so everything just started to build up, and I was thinking of using different singers first, but then Leif, an old friend of mine, the keyboard player for Perfect Plan.
Okay.
We played from when we were like 16 years old, and he lives here in town, and he said, why don't you check out this guy we have in town called Thomas? And I said, I never heard about him. Oh, you should hear him, he says. Okay. And he said he has nails everything with Joel Turner from the Rising Force period, and everything with the early Rainbow stuff with Joel Turner, and he does Def Leppard poof like this, and I'm like, oh, can this be true? So I just called him up, and he is the most humble guy ever. You cannot. I was like totally blown away, and living in a small town, I never met the guy, so I sent him over like one song called Dreaming. And it came back, and I was totally floored. Totally floored. And then he started to do the second song and the third song, because he was just initially planned to do 3 songs.
Right, yeah.
But as I said, can you do this one? He goes, yeah. And the fifth, and I said, you own the songs. Just stick to the melodies, but you have to rephrase things or articulate things just because it'd be suitable for you. But he sticks to the melodies, and he sticks to the lyrics and that. You change a word here or there, but straight through. And it's like amazing. I will send you so you can hear some of the songs.
Yeah, please. Yeah.
But you keep them to yourself.
Until you tell me, I keep them to me. Yeah.
Yeah. It's I'm totally floored.
And now, did he play in a band before? Is there anywhere else that we might know him from before, or is he like basically? So he's basically a totally unknown.
He's just been doing some stuff. Yeah, he's just been doing some stuff here in our hometown. and just for fun. And yeah, he's doing some stuff, but it's not on a national or international level whatsoever. So, I mean, like I said, it's a very small town we're living in. The size of this town is basically like Ajax.
Okay, right. Yep.
So
I forget you how well you Ajax. I know exactly what you're talking about. I forget you do as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's like, I mean, I think I should have heard about him, but I hadn't. And
right.
So he sings on all the songs, and then I had help from a friend, old friend doing the mixing. He's doing a lot of work in Swedish pop music and that, but he also did the Perfect Plans last album they did, and so he did the mixing, and Svante Forsbäck have done the mastering. He's doing everything with Rammstein and Entombed and that. He's done the mastering, and yeah, it turned out it's 10 songs. It's like nine with vocals and 1 instrumental.
Okay, great. And you wrote everything yourself, the music, the lyrics, aside from the singer changing the odd word there. You basically you wrote everything, all the music, all the awesome. So this is really all your project. Yeah, all the melodies and everything. So the melodies are very important, and you can imagine yourself as like if you think about where I'm from, so you can imagine it's very melodic and it's great fun. Yeah. So now the label asked, talking about now we're going to do 2 videos. Now they want to do 3 videos. And they just said to me I could pick any song for it. And I just picked 2 songs. I said, don't they have anything to say about it? And they said, it's such a strong album, you can pick whatever song you want. Oh, perfect. So that's a good compliment to hear that for sure. that made it easy. Yeah, right. Awesome. Well, I certainly look forward to hearing that. And you say tentatively right now, the release is looking at June of this year, June 18th. So excellent. And now who's all involved in the project here? We got Tracy Guns, we got Rudy Sarzo, and we got Snowy Shaw, Jeff Duncan. Sean Duncan as well, both the Duncans. Yeah, we got Frederick Chanel from X-Romance. We got Kent Carbon from X-Romance, Thomas Wiedmer from X-Romance, Leif from Perfect Plan. Right. Okay, right on. Yeah. Excellent. Yeah, it's solid. It's a very solid musicianship. And now as well, speaking, well, you mentioned Thomas and X-Romance there. You're working on something as well for X-Romance at the same time. Yep. That album is, the songs are picked, so to speak. So we're just going to do the basic tracks and everything. And so it's actually my fault that it's been held back a little bit because I had Thomas helping me out with doing the start of this Disorder project. I recorded. This is a fun story. Everything that I'm doing is totally up. I downloaded a metronome on my iPhone. Okay. And I put on headphone speakers. I had the metronome in my ears, and I pressed record on the phone because I had a guitar amp in the living room. So I just count myself in, and I just laid down the guitar to that rhythm. And then I did the same thing with the bass, and I sent it off to Thomas and I said, fix the drums on this. And he was like, on what? You must hear what the kind of, and I said, so I felt so sorry for the guy because he had to try to figure out what kind of beat it was. Yeah, he was missing that integral part. Yeah. So I had to look up different beats for him and send it down. So he did that, and we got it some sort of idea to lay down. And then when I had some guy in Stockholm help out with the drums as well, then I sent everything over to Sean Duncan, and he did most of it there in Los Angeles. And then that came back, and then I did some rough guide vocals, and Brian from Killer Bee did some rough guide vocals. So then it could be sent to Tracy, and I did the guitars and came back, so it's been sent back and forth with the music. But that's how it started. So that's why Thomas had been occupied. So I basically kidnapped him. And I said that I won't do any X-Romance until this is done, out of the way, because I can't focus on it. But it's some really, really good X-Romance songs. And we have some of the like I said, the barn tapes. There are some songs that we never picked for voices from the past. So okay. So there's some more
from the past, and you're going to rejuvenate, so to speak.
Yeah, some really good songs that they are really, really good, really good, and I feel really blessed that we actually had the so many songs from that era that we can actually. I think it's four songs or 4 or 5 that's going to be from the last tapes.
And so this is the ex-Romance stuff. It was never released anywhere before?
No.
And
no.
You came across these tapes somewhere, or in a barn, I guess, then?
In my barn, I had a box. I was out there and going through everything, and I found the cassette tapes, and I go like, okay, so I found an old tape recorder, and I started listening to the songs, and that's when I go like, holy shit, this is really good. I was really afraid that it's going to become salad of everything.
Yeah.
So I sent that to Thomas, and that's how we started. We're recording all the Romance songs.
Right. So now, is that the same box that you discovered those Killer Bee tapes in from Tapes from the Attic? Oh, so it was all together in one package.
Yeah.
That Killer Bee EP was 2 years ago. I think you put that out.
Yeah.
Maybe
I can. So I took everything in. Is this on video now, or is it just a radio thing?
We're on video at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm just going to show you something here that contact. So I took in that box of things, and this is what it looks like. Can I change it? There we go. This is a box of the. This is like. Here you got the. That's here. Here you have them. This is like You and I, Temporary Love, Total Madness, and the song called Woman. And this one will be on the next album.
Oh, okay.
So I just brought everything in and stored it here. So I have it.
It's lucky that it was undamaged. So it's been out there since the 80s?
Since early 90s it's been out there.
Yeah, right. That's lucky that it was undamaged or anything like that. That's a fantastic find. And now for these songs to come to light, the ex-Romance Voices from the Past album is that's an excellent album. And I also really like the Killer Bee tapes from the Attic as well. So I'm glad you found that box.
And there's a lot of demos out there, and I found some small cassettes, some tapes there, just black with it was written just with a white stripe on it. Says Smirnoff Special. So I wonder, what is this? And this is like actually the Killer Bee album Cracked Up and Warlord Revolution, when me and Brian are sitting in his basement and drinking and writing the songs live. So you hear actually the first versions of the songs. And the longer the replying, the longer, slower the song gets.
So that's when you release a comedy album in a few years.
Put those ones out. The beginning.
That's excellent. So we got a new ex-Romance on the way, but we don't know when that's. We don't have a target for that yet.
I've said that it should be recorded by the end of 2021, released in 2022. That's the goal, right? Definitely.
Yeah. Okay.
Have to have a goal to it.
Sure. And what about Killer Bee? What's the status with Killer Bee? I looked up my album review today for the Remember the Times album.
Yeah. We spoke, me and Brian, about 2 weeks ago, and we're gonna start with we have worked together for so many years. It's like it's gonna go fast. There's a lot of songs that's just laying around that's going to be put together. So we're looking at 2022 on that one as well.
Oh, okay, great. So you've got new music coming from all your projects. That's fantastic. Yeah. You have been a busy man during this pandemic.
Oh yeah. And I've written half of the songs to the next Disorder album already. So.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's true. It's fucking crazy. It's totally crazy.
Know what else do we have to do in these kind of times? And it's good that you have something like that to throw yourself into. Otherwise, you're going to go crazy if you don't have any hobbies or a project or anything to do. I go nuts sitting around here all day when I'm not at work. So, so I get
that's true. And like I said, I embraced the situation that happened with the pandemic, and I got a lot of things done musically, because there was nothing else to do. So that was the time killer, definitely. And it turned out very good. So now I just hope it gets out there and it's getting
it's going the way I hope it's going to go. I mean,
of course.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be very beneficial for both Killer Bee and Ex-Romans that this disorder thing is coming. So people from different going to open their eyes and see. Okay, here's a new thing. So I mean, everything goes hand in hand. Actually, if you make a good timing to it.
Sure. Yeah. Excellent. Well, I look forward to all that for sure. You know, I've been a Killer Bee fan for since I discovered Killer Bee, and it was actually. I don't know if you still work with Brent Donor from Helix for his video company, Red D Films. Was he doing a video for you guys probably about 8 or 9 years ago? He's the one that said to me, I saw him at his last show that he played for Helix before he decided to quit from Helix. And he said, I've started a new video company. I'm working with this band Killer Bee. They're part Canadian, part Sweden. You should check them out. And if it wasn't for him, it might have been years before I found Killer Bee. So I credit that to him.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, he did the videos for "Step Into My World" and "All Night Long" from the first album. Then he did the video to "Scream It" and "Evolutionary Children of Evolution" because he shot Danny DeMarchi out in Brampton. It's been a fantastic ride with Killer Bee as well. I think Remember the Times I really like that album. I really like the songs on that album, and I think it actually deserves more attention that it received.
Yeah, I think that with a lot of the Killer Bee albums, and even with Ex-Romance as well, especially here in North America, there's a lot of people that aren't interested in something new. If they don't know what it is, if it's not AC/DC, if it's not Metallica or one of the big ones, it's the North American mindset. There's a very small, well, maybe not very small, but there's a smaller group of us that we want that new kind of music. There's so much good stuff out there that, but I think the general public per se, they only want the same old bands from the 80s, and they don't want new albums from those bands, even they only want the old ones from the 80s.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts when they're such a great band and I meet someone at a concert and I try to talk to them about something like Killer Bee or pick a number of bands, and they're clueless and they're not even interested in checking it out. It's so disappointing.
Yeah, but I think I know why. Actually, it's that, like I always say, it's that tsunami of bands that's getting released due to the what's called Spotify and digital releases. I mean, if you think back when we were young and a band came out, I mean, you could read in Kerrang or in New Musical Express or Sounds or whatever music magazine it said Maiden is getting released in September. Yay! And AC/DC is releasing blah blah, and Madonna releasing, Michael Jackson is releasing. The ones that got released got the attention. But now it's like, for me even to try to catch up with what's getting released, it's just, and then it's easier to go like, oh well, I stick to my AC/DC instead because I don't have time to listen to 20 new bands every week.
Yeah, that could be a very real possibility. If I look at last year, everything I considered to pick my top 10 albums of the year from last year for the CGCM website, there were over 600 albums that I considered on that list. And by considered, I mean, a lot of cases I looked at the cover art, listened to half the first song and went, no, because I just can't listen to that much. That's a lot of albums, right? So right, there is a huge flood now, and it's, with the digital age, it's a lot easier for bands to be able to release product themselves and to get it out there to the world. So that could be a big part of it.
And also hand in hand with that is the fact that when a band released something before, they went on the road.
Yes.
They open up for somebody. Let's say I remember here in Europe when Kiss played in 1980, they had Iron Maiden opening up for them the whole European tour. And that meant that wherever they went, that was the best promotion ever for a band. They open up for them, and that basically, by selling physical vinyls, albums, the labels generated money back because they could invest in a tour.
Right.
Because there's a lot of money that then you put out to invest in it. And I believe that if you have a band or if you have a financial backup, let's say, and you would go out with a big band for a North American tour or European tour and really stick to it and promote the shit out of it, then it will stick to people's head because it's in their face, right?
Yeah, they can't avoid it.
No, they can't. They get constantly reminded of it, and they get a chance to play for a big audience, and they get a chance to build a platform. But just releasing digitally and not going out there, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It must be something very special if it's going to happen.
Yeah, you're right. That would certainly make a big difference to the general public, anyway. But I know there's lots of us that search out that digital stuff, and we want to check it out. But yeah. And I know I think in Europe it's a lot better, the scene in general, than it is here. But that's just what I've experienced from going to shows here and going to shows over there. I much prefer going over there for shows. But I saw there's a group on Facebook, a Swedish group called Hard Rockers for Life, but in Swedish you say and someone posted, it says 1980 was a great year to live in Birmingham, and it was from Birmingham Odeon, the bands that were playing there over the year in Birmingham. I'm going to send it to you, and you're going to check it out. You're going to be blown away with the quality of bands that were playing there. But I mean, you could definitely tell by that time there was a live scene. But all of those bands that you could read, you knew who. Now you know who they were. All right, it was Lacey, it was Maiden, it was Scorpions. Blackfoot was opening for Scorpions. Starfighters were there. Triumph were playing there. Motorhead, Crocus, Magnum, everybody. It was like Madness, Duran Duran. It was like so packed, and this was only in one city. Right. Yeah. I wish I'd been able to go to shows like that back in those days and discover some of those bands that now are probably tattooed on my arm.
Yeah. But I mean, this. I think the music scene, and I hope it's going to turn around a little bit, maybe after this thing that happened, that people actually want to go out and see some bands in a different way.
I hope so as well. And I know there's Killer Bee toured briefly in Canada and the US. What, about 4 years ago, maybe?
No, it's 6 years ago now.
6 years, okay.
We did 10 weeks. We did a first 5 weeks in 4.5 or something like that in May, and then I got a reply from Tracy Guns. It says excellent, big marks, because I just wrote to him about the release date.
Right.
Yeah, and then we went on the road with Tracy Guns, and they called Gunso. It was Tracy and Rudy,
right. Yes,
and Keith St. John on vocals, and it was with Bullet Boys. And then we did one show in Toronto. We did it actually at
the Rock Pile.
What is it called?
The Rock Pile.
Rock Pile.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was unable to make that show. It was like my one chance to see Killer Bee play live, and I was out of the country. I was something, but my photographer was there. He's got some great photos of you guys.
Yeah, you were Sweden Rock.
I might have been.
No, it was July 20th, I believe.
I don't know how many times now we've had that, because there was another time you were here in Toronto just a couple of years ago, and I remember you posted a photo on Facebook. I'm like, what? You're in Toronto. I have to come and meet you. And then something happened and I couldn't go. And then I was in Stockholm.
We just crossed over.
I was supposed to meet you in Stockholm, and I ended up meeting Thomas Widmark instead. He was going to the airport to pick you up. The timing is always just off by a little bit.
Yeah, but now we got this. This is great. I mean, Zoom is great. I mean, amazing quality.
Right on. Yeah, I quite enjoy. My camera's a little. I don't know if it's the lighting or the camera itself, but I ghost out a little bit, like the old MTV videos. Like a bit of a shadow, so I need to fix that. But it's this is a great addition. I have sometimes with some of my friends from all over the world. We go to different festivals, so there's Canadians, Germans, Swedish people, Norwegians. So we try to have a Zoom chat every couple of weeks and get 8 or 10 of us together, because we don't get to see each other this year. So Zoom is fantastic for being able to keep us in touch during this pandemic time. So another good thing.
Yep, another good thing.
Yeah,
that's really good. Yeah. So anyway, but the music, it's going to be quite busy now with this release in 2021, recording the Ex-Romance. Thomas is coming up here any day now, any weekend. So we just going to really close down the amount of songs.
Right.
And then they start to work with it down in Stockholm, put things together. Then I just do my part, put my share to it, because I'm living up in North. So.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Anyway, I appreciate you being able to get together and have a chat, so we can help you promote. And definitely, anytime you have the information on anything, the release dates and the album art and all that stuff, send it over, and we'll get it posted up on our website as well. And then maybe closer to the time of the release for Disorder, we can have you on the actual podcast with my co-host, and we can do a whole hour and a half, 2 hour show. Going through the songs and talking about the songs and the writing processes and all that kind of stuff, if you want.
I would love to do that, because the album is like it's like a diary of what I've gone through my life. So it's very personal. The lyrics are very strong in that sense. Yeah,
that would be perfect then when we've got some more time and we'll put that out on the podcast, and we can go through the whole album once we've closer to release time, when we've had a chance to hear it and all that stuff. Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me. And I mean, this is great. I mean, like you said, we missed each other in Stockholm, we missed each other in Toronto. It's about now we figured out one way to get it done anyway. So I really appreciate it.
Hopefully, if this pandemic subsides this year or even next year, maybe we will get to meet in person and have a coffee and a chat either here or
we will definitely do that. I'm 100% sure we're going to do that. And there's going to be, like I said, there's going to be a lot of music now in the future. But we start with the Disorder thing here now, and I'm going to, after we finish here now, get your mail address again, and I'm going to fire off some songs to you, and you can get back to me.
Keep them quiet. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you, Rich.
Right. Yes. Thank you very much, Anders. I really appreciate it.
Awesome.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Have a
Cheers,
good night.
man.
Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.